Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Hey friends, welcome back to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. My name is Gabby and this is episode number 25, and so glad that you're here. Welcome to another week, another podcast to fill your brain with some knowledge, some tips, some encouragement, some insight. This one is going to be all about sugar, just places that sugar can hide, ways that you can swap it out, and just the way that we've been taught as a society about sugar, the ways we've been kind of fooled, or kind of just it's been snuck into so many things that we have no idea. And we wonder why we are struggling as Americans with our health problems, why our children can't focus, why they're struggling with health problems. And a lot of it has to do with hidden sugars, because too much of that just is not good for us. Now, sugar tastes great. It's amazing. There's a reason it tastes good and why it's addicting, but in moderation. And I think our society has lost touch with that. It also impacts inflammation, which we did an entire podcast on. So if you go back, scroll through the podcast, I should have looked. I don't remember the exact episode number. Maybe I can pull that up here really quick while I'm chatting. But we did a whole episode on inflammation and how much sugar really can impact inflammation in your body and creating all of those just health issues that we have. Okay, I have it pulled up right here. Let's see here. This will be episode 16. So I will link to that in the show notes because that was definitely a popular one, a good, juicy, filled one with so many, just so many things to teach you guys. And I learned a lot myself too. Always learning, always growing, and wanting to bring that to you guys as I am on this journey with you. We're all on our own journey. I feel like we will never really arrive. I know that's not really the best encouragement, but we will never fully arrive with our health, our goal. Like it feels like, we're constantly changing, and then, we're getting old, as we're getting older, our bodies and our health require different things because things shift. So, when you're 50, you can't treat your body like when you were 20. So, it's a never ending thing, but definitely in our society today with the resources and the amount of free content and also great paid content. I mean, it's so worth it to invest in really good expert advice, programs, functional medicine doctors, integrative, if that's where you're at. But we live in a world where there's just so much knowledge in so many different aspects and areas of life. So just don't feel discouraged, but feel encouraged that as you journey through life and you experience the ups and downs of different health things and different goals, they will change for you. Your goals will change. That there are people out there fighting for you and what you're looking for. Just don't give up on that. So, all right. And I am in a new office space, not new, but new to me. I haven't come out here to record yet. So if it sounds different, like, I don't know, I'm in the office that we had built for my husband, because we needed to be able to put our daughter in her bedroom when she was not so little anymore. We transferred her probably around 4 or 5 months to her bedroom, and that was the only other bedroom we had upstairs, and my husband's been working from home, so we worked on building an office in our garage. So that's where I am, and it's really awesome out here. It's nice, but I don't know how the sound quality, for this is, or if there will be any random noises that I don't know about. So anyway, we are out here because it is definitely more quiet than my inside right now. So let's get to today. We're not, going to spend an hour here. So we're just, really going to just define, the sugar and what it's doing to us and our health, and where it's hiding, what certain foods and drinks it's hiding in. You probably already know a lot of this, but hopefully you learned something new as I had kind of just breezed through different lists of things and thought of different things, and then just maybe encourage you to swap things out, and not to tell you to never consume sugar again. Your body needs it. It is a form of energy. It's meant to be enjoyed, but again, it's just bonkers, all the things that it's in and all the ways that it's hiding, all the names it hides behind. If I can get it together, I would love to put together a easy PDF. We'll just call it PDF for you guys to just reference to, just showing you different swaps that I have found, different brands, and just different sugars that you can use in some of your recipes. So we'll see if I can get that together here for you guys. But in the meantime, just in this episode, wanted to really shed some light in this area, because the food industry has really tainted our foods and gotten our culture addicted to sugar. And a lot of it goes unknown. Like I was saying, people don't know. They don't know better. Like, it tastes good, so I'm going to eat it. Why would they know to think differently if not taught or around people that would, question such things in the food? It tastes good, and it's usually a cheaper, anything that you're buying with sugar in it, it's cheaper. So why question it? And it just is wreaking havoc in so many people's bodies. It's making us sicker. People wonder why they aren't reaching their goals. Why can't I lose the weight? Why do I have these achy joints? Why can't my kid pay attention? Why does, all of these things, they impact us more than we think. And sugar addiction is a real thing. It's a big deal. So when you consume, like, even just thinking about, like, okay, just think with me here. Even just thinking about, like, a plate of, like, think of your favorite cake, like just like the best chocolate cake you've ever had, or whatever flavor you like. I love chocolate anything. Like, you immediately go to a place when you start to think about it, or you close your eyes and you envision it, like, your mouth starts to salivate, because your brain makes that connection and that desire, and it releases that dopamine. It's a dopamine hit. Why do people want drugs after they get addicted to it? Because it gives them that quick hit of feeling good. It's satisfying. It makes them forget about other things. Like, there's just this property to it. It stimulates the brain to release dopamine. So sugar is it's proven. I mean, you go look it up. It is just as addictive as drugs and as alcohol. And that's crazy and scary, because sugar isn't going to get you high, and it's not going to get you into trouble, like, with the law or whatever. Like, but it can get you in big trouble with your health over the course of time. And you don't see the impact now. So it definitely causes damage, down the line. but in a different way than drugs and alcohol, of course. But isn't that crazy that they're on the same playing field of how they make the brain release dopamine, how the hit that comes from just even thinking about sugar. You think of a drug addict or an alcoholic who doesn't have access to it at the moment, but just the thought of it makes them like, I need it now. I have to find it. And then once they do, they're okay. They can calm, they can feel satisfied. And it's just a continuous cycle. And so how do we break that with sugar? And it's super hard. The average American consumes 17 teaspoons. Now, if you just have like a bag of sugar sitting around, go measure out 17 teaspoons and just look at that. Okay? That's like 75 grams of sugar per day. Per day. That is a lot of sugar. And that's just the average. I have changed how I eat so much, over the last 10 years. I thought that I was eating healthier back when I was in senior year, and as I graduated, I was always self-conscious about my body and wanting to eat better. And, I wasn't the one in charge of the grocery shopping, and it was my mom, and I tried to do my best with, making salads and, eating the whole wheat bread and all these things, thinking that was it. My mom didn't know better. And so I just kind of started making assumptions and what I thought, I learned in school or read in a book or a random health magazine that I would never pick up these days and trust, because it's not accurate. So then, when I started to make a little money, and after I graduated high school and I worked, I would buy my food and think that Yoplait yogurt was so much better for me. And, I would eat dry cereal and just the randomest things. I didn't even look at salad dressing ingredients. I was eating a salad, but I was not paying attention to what kind of dressings I was buying. And, Nature Valley granola bars, all these things. And I was doing all I knew. And so I just think back to people, who are me, when I was, between the ages of 16 and 19, just the decisions that I want, the choices I wanted to make to better my health, but they still were not bettering me. So I was on a journey. I was seeking, I was trying to find, and some of those things, most of all of that still contained so much sugar. Guys, I also consumed ketchup like nobody's business. I'm sure I've shared that on a podcast before. But we've all got our thing. You either are a ranch girl, barbecue, ketchup, whatever it is, you got your thing. And I get that. But wow, holy smokes, did I consume a lot of sugar in all that ketchup over the years. And back when my mom would buy the one with high fructose corn syrup in it. So I actually, I don't even like the taste of that. When it's in a soda and I have a sip of my husband's soda, I'm I don't even know how you finish a can of soda. But here's the weird thing, a little side note. When I'm pregnant, I am 13 weeks pregnant with our fourth. I crave, I just want a sip of soda. I don't know why. It's not necessarily the carbonation, because I've had Zevia, I've had LaCroix, all those kinds of things. And I drink those majority of the time if I want something fun like that. But I rarely, when we go out to eat, will ever have a sip of my husband's soda. And when I'm pregnant, I'm can I just have a sip? And then I'm why did I do that? Because I actually just don't like the aftertaste. Maybe I'm just so used to stevia sweetened things. I don't know. But the high fructose corn syrup just gets me every time. I'm even in ketchup. I'm not sure. But we buy the ketchup that has just regular sugar in it. I buy one that doesn't have sugar in it. But sometimes my family does not prefer that. So anyway, I'm getting on a little rabbit trail there, but just wanted to share like just where I was at and the journey that I was on and thinking I was making better choices, and yet I still was so misinformed. And so that's why like I want people to really know how much sugar is impacting their health. So you have to begin understanding, like I said, it's an addiction. And so when you're addicted to something, you rely on it. You train your body and your brain to reach for that thing when you are fatigued, when you are sad, when you are happy. Like you're training your body. And so it's literally having to unlearn something. You kind of will go through like withdrawals. Like you're going to wander around being like, what do I even eat? And you just need to figure out your alternative options, and you need to figure out something else that you can grab or something else that you can do when you're realizing and recognizing that your body wants that hit. Can you go for a 10-minute walk to distract? Like, what can you distract yourself with? Can you go and just have some berries? I was just reading something that blueberries are just one of the best. Just go eat a giant cup of blueberries. It is the best thing for your brain. They reduce inflammation. They're sweet in a way. They have their own sweetness to them. Like just grab an apple. Yes, there's sugar in there, but like if you need something, just make it as natural as possible. Or have a Zevia with, the stevia sweetener. Maybe you need to just go read a book for 10 minutes and you're going to hopefully forget all about what you wanted. Go on a walk. Call your mom. Call a friend. Go do something. Like, it doesn't have to always be that food. So if you need to rely on something else, figure it out beforehand. You can't just expect yourself to be like, okay, I'm not going to have sugar today. And then your body's like, what are you talking about? Like, what else, what are we going to do? And if you've not already decided and you've not already started to make an action plan, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Because if you don't know what you're going to do when all of a sudden that time comes and you normally reach for that muffin or that candy bar, what if there's nothing there? You're going to go find it. Even if you don't bring it with you to work, you're going to go find it if you don't already have an action plan or something else in replacement sitting in front of you. So I hope that makes sense, that you can find that thing that works for you. And maybe jumping all in, like going cold turkey, sometimes that's not even the best way to do it. You really just need to start slowly phasing out either times of the day that you recognize you eat it, a certain food that you're eating all the time, a coffee that you're grabbing. Like, what is one thing you can eliminate for this coming week that you're just reaching for to get a hit, to get an energy kick? How else can you get an energy kick? You can drink a whole bunch of water. You could go on a walk in some fresh air. You could do a little 10-minute, body weight exercise. You could take some deep breaths. You could focus on just some breath work. You can just grab some whole foods rather than packaged foods. Just grab some whole foods or just a black coffee. Like if you really need a pick-me-up, if you need some coffee, have some coffee, like whatever. But don't go grab the largest Frappuccino that has 60 to 70 grams of sugar in it. You wonder why you're hungry by 10, 11 a.m. It's because you just drank coffee on your way out the door that probably was loaded with sugar. Or, your coffee and a quick piece of toast or a muffin or a granola bar with nothing else to bind to in terms of fats and proteins. Your body will feel like, oh, I got it. This is it. We feel good. We're feeling good. This tastes good. Got my energy buzz. And then you crash, right? Like you're like, holy smokes, it's 10 a.m. and I'm like ready for a nap. Yeah. And so then what do? You reach for more of that kind of stuff. And then by 2 p.m., you're like, holy smokes, I'm falling asleep. I need blah, 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 And so you just get into this cycle. So you have to find and you're gonna feel crummy. So getting yourself out of that cycle, you're gonna go through that withdrawal, but once you start to implement all the new ways and the new habits, those are what's going to bring you some new energy. But your body is not going to feel energetic from it right away. Just gonna tell you. It's going to be like, why aren't you giving me what you've been giving me the last, 10, 15, 20 years, however long how old you are and how long you've been doing this. You can't expect something to happen overnight or in a week. Your body is going to be angry at you. It's going to be like, I want that muffin. I want that, so-called coffee, that you would always get me at 2 p.m. And, and now you're giving me yoga and breath work, or we're eating a salad. What are we doing? We're having an apple? Why can't we just have some chips or, a candy bar or whatever it is that you go for, a granola bar? So you have to have grace with your body. You have to just start small. Okay? You have to pick the one or two things that you know are going to be uncomfortable, but get you to where you want to be. You want to start feeling better? Then you got to start owning it. You got to start playing the part. You've got to start envisioning who you want to be, how you want to feel. And you have to remember, you have to pause. Rather than taking that immediate action, pause and just take a moment and be like, what would the new Gabby eat? How would the new Gabby respond? How am I going to feel right now if I eat that? In 3 hours, how am I going to feel after I eat that or drink that? Okay? Some of you even just grab sodas. Even diets. Diet soda it's just not good. There's no calories in it anyway. It's going to give you some caffeine, but there's a bunch of junk in it. So you're better off just grabbing, I know it's not sweet, but a coffee. Okay? If you need the caffeine. But again, that's a whole nother topic. So, okay, you're okay, Gabby, let's talk about what foods. What are we talking about? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through a quick list of some things that I had written down. And then we'll kind of just talk about some easy swaps here, and then we'll be on our merry way. But I just wanted to preface that, encourage you, and just give you some practical tips, advice, because, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, and I want you guys to feel good. I want you to be able to do this. I want you to be able to accomplish whatever it is that you are aiming for. And I don't want you to just feel like, well, tomorrow I'm going sugar-free, cold turkey, none of it. Because guess what? I'm pretty sure then by Friday, you're going to be back to your new routine or the next week. Because you did not allow yourself to have grace on yourself that, wow, I've built up so much. Write down all the habits and all the things that you are eating on a regular basis, daily, and kind of your pattern. What are your patterns? What are your habits? What are your rituals? You got to give yourself a chance. They didn't just happen overnight. You just started to mold into it, and it became your daily thing. And so now you have to start to break the pattern, and it's going to feel hard, and it's going to you're going to face resistance. And I've done podcasts on those. So go and find those if you need. There's so much mental work that goes along with health and the physical part of eating and making actual, decisions. There's the mental aspect, and then there's the physical aspect. They go hand in hand, because without mentally being present and tough and resilient, you're not going to make it. We're going to cave to what feels comfortable, what feels known, and that's okay. We need the known and the comfortable, but when you recognize there needs to be a change in life and something that you're doing that's known and comfortable is not serving you, then something's got to change, something's got to give, and you need to break that pattern in your brain. So that is my 2 cents. So some things that, a lot of things here, I'm going to go through it that have sugar in them. Some of them you will know. Hopefully there's one that kind of stands out to you that you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about that. Go and check what you got. Write these down or replay this part in this episode. So again, we most most of us will start our day with like a coffee or tea or something, and coffee creamers. That is a big deal. 1 tablespoon of coffee creamer can have 5 grams. And you can't be honest with me and tell me that you only do 1 tablespoon in your giant Yeti to-go mug. That's just not possible. So 2-3 tablespoons, because then you're talking about 10 to 15 grams out of that 71 or 75, whatever we talked about on the average that people consume. You're already, just think about the amount of sugar you're consuming in the morning and how fast that adds up through coffees. Not to mention people that will stop and get foo-foo coffees at their local Starbucks or whatever. So be mindful of coffee creamers. Bread. Now I know one of them that's like super popular, and I love it, and I was buying it, and I don't mind it, but we've been making sourdough for so long. Like there's no point in me buying bread. My kids will eat this. We can make it into sandwich sizes. It's totally fine. But Dave's Killer Bread actually tastes super good. It is a good option, but I really actually didn't even notice, me of all people, as you know, I read labels and things. I'm pretty sure it was in one slice. One slice had 5 grams of sugar, and you don't make a sandwich with 1 slice. So 2 slices of bread and you're 10 grams of sugar in. That's a lot for bread. So make sure that you're reading labels on the breads that you're buying, okay? Or you can learn to make your own homemade. Salad dressings, condiments, salsa, any of that. There's so many other things too to look for on those labels that are not healthy, but sugar, there's going to be some naturally occurring sugars for sure with anything that has like a tomato in it. Awesome, that's totally fine. So there's going to be something on there that says total sugars, and then it'll say underneath it, total added sugars. So total sugars, say it says like 3 grams in your salsa. Okay, so look below it and see, are there any added sugars, total added sugars? And if it says 0, great, then you know that 3 grams is coming from straight like tomatoes. Like that is its source. And then just check the label to make sure. But if you see like total added sugars, 3 grams, 5 grams, that's a sign and a clue that, they've added extra sugars to enhance it. Maybe I should find something else. Now, sometimes it's just something that you use every now and again. No big deal. Fine. But if it's something that you consume on the regular and you're really trying to be mindful, stick with no added sugars. Okay? You have to retrain your palate and be okay with just the naturally occurring sugar in certain foods. Okay? And then, so yeah, like salad dressings, condiments, like we'll talk about yogurt and stuff, but just know like a salad dressing that is, say, low fat or some sort of condiment. What they do is low fat. All that means is, okay, you take all the fat out. Okay, so if you've ever had a really delicious cut of meat, like that's juicy, that's fat, like has good, fattiness to it. There's so much flavor. It's so good. I mean, butter, fat. Butter like makes your potato taste, but your baked potato or your toast or whatever it is that you add butter to, it like enhances that flavor. That's what fat does. So once you strip that from something and you call it low fat, because there was that whole craze that you should have no fat in any of your foods, low fat everything. Well, guess what they did? They just hijacked it with sugar. That's all they did. So here you are creating hormonal problems for people where you just stripped all the fat, the good fats from their diet and just jacked up the sugar. And then people are like, oh, look at me, I'm making better health choices because I'm lowering my cholesterol and I'm not consuming any fat. Okay, well, your body, especially females, you need fat and the good kind. And it tastes great. And it's great to eat the good sources. So they replace that with sugar to make it taste better because they just took all the fat, the flavor out. So that's what low fat means. So when you see that, just be mindful, okay? Nut butters, jams, peanut butter and jelly, slapping some peanut butter on your kid's bread that already has sugar in it with then some more sugar in their jam. You might as well just send them with the candy bar. So, natural peanut butter should just be peanuts or almonds or whatever you buy for your family. And salt or no salt. It should just be like 1 or 2 ingredients. No palm oil shortening, no natural flavors, no sugar. Nothing else. It should just be like 1 or 2 ingredients. Jams, it's kind of hard to find it. You might have to look online. I know Thrive Market carries a really good one that I like, or you just make your own. Oops, or you just do some honey. See here, I'm in a new office and I'm kicking the garbage can because I'm not used to this spot. So jam you can do, or you just do fresh fruit and mash it on there, or like make your own. You can blend, or you could like buy frozen berries, cook them down, mix some chia seeds in there and let it set. Now, it won't last forever because it's not preserved, because some of the things that they put in the jellies are going to preserve them for a long time. So you got to use it. So maybe make a small batch or a larger batch and freeze some and pull it out as you need. But just regular fruit on its own, you can drizzle some honey on there, But man, PB&J, it's like eating a candy bar when you don't buy the stuff that doesn't have all the added sugars. Just think of how many of those we've consumed on the Wonder Bread or the Uncrustables. Oh man, I can't believe those are still a thing. I think you can buy like a giant box of those at Costco. But hey, that's just the world we live in. And if I'd eat one like out of the blue, or like, with this marathon training, sometimes it's like, you know what? I just need fast, quick, easy carbs. I've not bought Uncrustables, but I bought a healthier version of Pop-Tarts, guys, because I was like, this is the time to eat Pop-Tarts. So I've only done it like twice before a super long run because I need a lot of carbs. I don't want to feel like I ate a bowl of oatmeal because I don't need all the fiber. I need it quick. I need it to be used up fast, fast energy. So I found a better brand. I think Nature's Path is the brand that just doesn't have as much of the crap that's in regular Pop-Tarts because, I couldn't get myself to do it. So, YOLO, you only live life once. And so enjoy something every now and again. But I'm not going to go and buy the Uncrustables and all the Pop-Tarts and just eat the heck out of them. Or have them on hand anytime I feel like I should have one. That's not how it works. So it's just like a once in a while kind of a thing when you choose to eat one of those, or you just want the nostalgia. Hey, I'm all here. I'm here for it. All right, yogurt, even plain yogurt has about 7 grams of natural sugars in it. Dairy already has that in there. So milk sugar is called lactose. So low lactose dairy has less sugar. So those are going to be things like heavy cream, aged cheeses. So if you want to really, I typically will do like half and half for my creamers, but a lot of people, like even keto, and my mother-in-law has even switched over to using heavy cream for coffee. And if you can find a really great source, super good for you. If you buy raw milk, scoop some of that rich cream right off the top. Save it and pour a little bit in your coffee. It's so good for you. No sugar, because it has no lactose in it. So when you buy yogurt, look at the label again. What are the total sugars? And then look below, what are the total added sugars? Okay. So if you buy plain yogurt, you're going to find 5, 6, 7 grams of sugars in them. I can't remember. I feel like I looked one time and I can't remember, but like, let's say low fat versus whole fat yogurt. Always aim for whole fat. Unless you have specific dietary goals or whatever, whole fat is always going to be better, especially for your kiddos too. Going to be more filling, more flavor profile, but I'm not sure if they have the same content of naturally occurring sugars. I can't remember. So just compare, look at it. I would think that the whole fat would have less because they're not trying to replace, well, I guess if you buy plain. So I'm not sure. But anyway, don't buy any flavored yogurts is my main point here, because you can be consuming a lot. 10, 13 grams in a single serving cup. Not to mention if you just buy a big tub of it and then you slap it in a bowl and then you put your sugary granola on it and some berries. It adds up real quick. So just buy plain, sweeten it how you want. Okay? And we'll kind of come back through and just kind of give some quick replacement ideas. So yogurt, plain, always. Whole fat as often as possible. Okay? Prepared cereals, bars, granolas, any boxed item, we'll just say, crackers, any of those things. Look at the sugar content in there. Your drinks, coffees, sports drinks. Maybe you have smoothies, sodas. Maybe I'm missing something, but anything, whatever you reach for, okay? And I know there are a lot of 0-calorie drinks out there. Some are filled with aspartame. No, we don't want to consume that because that brings on a whole nother slew of health problems in the long run. And then, just any of those. They're going to have natural flavors. They're going to have all these enhancers because they stripped out the sugar. Every now and again, sure, it's great to have, but not on a regular basis. Cured meats. So things like bacon, ham, sausage, brats, salami. Flip it over. Check that label. Curing the meat to preserve it, they will use sugar sometimes, okay? Spices, marinades, any of those kinds of things, soy sauces or teriyaki or barbecue or whatever it is you go for, Asian sauces, any of those Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever's, like, you can buy them in the store, I think. You don't have to necessarily go to the restaurant. Just check that out, okay? Probably have a lot of high fructose corn syrup anyway in them. And spices, like, sometimes I wonder why. I'm like, oh, that sounded so good, even organic ones. And I'm like, why are we putting sugar in there? I don't want that. Like, can't we just skip that? If I wanted to add sugar, I would put that on my whatever I'm making. So just check the spices, okay? And then another crazy one is check your sugar-free packets that you're buying. If you buy stevia, I feel like I never know how people say it, packets, sometimes they're mixed with dextrose or maltodextrin. So you'll see that on the label. Those are another name for sugar. And because stevia is like 10 times sweeter than sugar, like there would be next to nothing, or not next, but just very little bit in those packets. So I learned this, guys. This is what they do. They add these sugars in there, and so that there's more, I can't think of the word. More substance to the packet. So it actually looks like you're dumping a fair amount of sugar in there. Whereas if you just needed a little bit of sweetness, you wouldn't use a whole teaspoon of stevia or a half teaspoon. Trust me. You would spit that coffee right out, or whatever you made, if you put a half teaspoon of stevia in your coffee. It would be way too sweet. It wouldn't be enjoyable. So they just kind of do a little blend so that there's enough in the packet to pop into your drink and look, like more. So it's just crazy. I was like, no way. That's the food industry for you. It's all about like looks. Like, why does it have to look yellow? Why does it have to look brown? Why does there have to be a lot of sugar in the packet? Like, it's all, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. So anyway, so that was a lot of things that I just kind of threw at you. Again, reading labels is going to be your best friend. Best next option is to always make your own. Make your own bread. Make your own salad dressings. Make your own jam. Make your own granola. I'm looking at my list. Any marinades or spices. You could just buy a bunch of plain ones and then kind of make your own little blend. Make your own marinade. And then just source as best as you can. So, for your coffees, again, if you buy raw milk or you want to consider that, there's so many things you can do with the cream. There's just, it's a neat thing. We're not in that world right now. We're not huge milk people. But I've been following so many, homesteading people on Instagram, and I'm just like seeing all these raw milk things, people making butter and all the things you can make with the milk. And I'm like, that would be amazing. But I just don't want to buy it and waste it. I don't want to waste our money at the moment until I figure out exactly our action plan. So anyway, heavy cream. You can use a dairy-free milk if you need dairy-free for your creamer. Just, again, dairy-free creamers are still going to be loaded with sugars. So you can just put a plain almond milk, plain coconut milk. I use half and half most of the time if I don't have access to finding good heavy cream. And then if I want it sweetened, I will add a drop or two of liquid stevia. Oh my goodness, in there. And then I'm good to go. Your bread, we make sourdough. I'll make homemade. We've talked about einkorn flour on an episode. So options are endless there. Maybe you just need to cut out the bread for now. If you don't and are not willing or don't have the time to make bread, because it requires some time. I totally get it. So if you really want to, make a few of them so that you're not always like, okay, we just ate a whole loaf and now I have to make time to make another one. Make a few loaves. And then after they cool, you can slice them up and freeze them as slices. Or you freeze the whole loaf and you take it out to thaw. So it's ready for your next time that you will need it because you're running low on the one that you had already. So give yourself the chance. Make things in excess and freeze them so that you're not always trying to play catch up and trying to do better because you're going to get burnt out. So I usually make a double batch of granola and I'll throw a bag in the freezer so that I'm like, oh my gosh, our jar is getting a little low. Oh, good. I'm going to go to the freezer and grab, the bag. And then I mentally know, okay, I got to make a double batch coming up here in a little while. But, I had a backup. So it's planning ahead. You got to start kind of planning. Salad dressings, Primal Kitchen is a great brand for any of that, even with marinades. I really like their Hawaiian barbecue sauce. Just has a hint of sweetness from like some pineapple juice. Like I love it. I think they've done a great job with some of their flavor profiles and really focusing on their mission being, sugar-free, using avocado oil. Not that olive oil is bad, but that's like their main thing. So, or just make your own salsa, whatever it is. And the yogurts, you can buy, sugar-free ones. Those ones are going to be loaded with, natural flavors and stuff. I like the occasional, that Oikos brand, super awesome, but we just buy a lot of just plain regular yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. We'll drizzle on some honey. We'll put in our granola. We'll add berries. I'll add sometimes my collagen, peanut butter protein, collagen powder, and that's sweetened with monk fruit. So, that's something that I will do too. Cereals, bars, granolas, just be mindful how much you're consuming of those things. Is there any way that you can find a brand that's less sugar? Is there a way you can make something? You got to start researching. You got to start making swaps or just cutting it out for now. Your drinks, how can you do better with the things that you're drinking? Do you just need more water? Drink some electrolytes, just something, I get it. Water gets boring. Coffee, like trying to not consume that past 2 p.m. is better for you so that you can actually fall asleep. So just finding a new fun thing to rely on that is lower in sugar or no sugar would be ideal. And then, just for the meats, you just have to, you're going to have to search. You're going to have to, check locally, and just find what is near you that is going to be a better option. And, look for those. A lot of those, like lunch meats too, are going to have like natural flavors or carrageenan or whatever, however you say it, and sugar and nitrates and all those things in it. So just reading and being mindful. Some of those other, healthier, cleaner brands are a bit pricier. So if you do have one of those memberships to like a Sam's Club or a Costco or something that you can have access to buy a little bit nicer of a meat, at a little bit more of a discount, then, that might be worth it. But learning to just say no, because you're like, this does not fit with my goals. This is not going to help me achieve what I am looking for. So I'm just going to have to say no. So I think that's about all with the swaps. And here I am saying this isn't going to be, super long episode. We'll get you in and out, but really wanted to just hone in on so many different aspects of sugar before we had gotten into the specifics of the foods. Great sugar-free options are stevia, like we've talked about a lot, and monk fruit. Erythritol, xylitol really aren't, they're kind of hard on the gut and just not the better of the options. So really just stick with monk fruit and stevia, and then any of your natural, we use coconut sugar, we use honey, and we use maple syrup. So that's kind of our jam when we do other types of things that I'm okay with having sugar in some of our things. If I've made it homemade, I'm in control of it. I can cut out half the sugar. I can use whatever sugar I want. I know that I'm, it all depends. I'm not here to completely avoid sugar 100%. But I know that we're not, we don't struggle with the addictive properties of it. Like, do I crave myself some chocolate or something sweet? Absolutely. And it's meant to be enjoyed. But when we're not actually being our own best advocate, we are going to constantly be being deceived by the food industry. It makes me so angry, honestly. And I wish I could just like storm in there and talk to them. Because then, you know what? They just send us to the doctors. It's just a whole circle. I'm not going to get into any conspiracy theory stuff here, but guys, it's just a big circle, all for money and power. So, they stick it in the foods. They make you sicker. So who do you need? You need the doctor. They prescribe you something and you keep coming back for more. So I'm here to teach you differently, to help you rely and be on yourself, self-sufficient and healthier, more vibrant, live a better life. So if this episode really just stuck with you, if you need to re-listen to it again, take notes. If you feel someone else really needs to hear this, share this message with them and encourage them, or find a buddy, find someone, hold you accountable, hold each other accountable, do it together. It's so much better when you have more people on board with you. Create a little community, or just within your own family, and just say, hey, you know what? We're going to not have this, right now, or we're going to swap it with this, or mommy's trying to do better. And moms especially, this is just going to help you feel better. You're not going to, again, feel the immediate, oh my gosh, I didn't have that piece of cake and I feel like $1 million. No, it's not going to work like that. Like I said, it takes time. It took time to get you to where you are now, so it's going to take you time to get to where you want to be. So just keep your eye on the person you want to be. Keep your focus on how you want to feel, in a year from now. Okay? Really got to map it out, guys. So I hope this encouraged you. I hope that this blessed you. Again, I hope that you see my passion just coming through this, because I care about you guys. I care about everyone's just health and well-being, because I really feel that so much truth needs to be exposed more and more and more, because it keeps getting hidden. And this just needs to be more common knowledge to people. So please share this. It would mean, that's all I want. That's a free, easy way for you to support me and this show, to keep getting more subscribers, more ears, more lives changed. It impacts me more than you know when I see more of those downloads going up faster, when I hear people commenting back, when I get new followers that have reached out to me and said, so-and-so shared this with me and I'm just grateful, or this is how it's changed me. Like, honestly, that's my mission. And that's why I'm here, spending 50 minutes talking to you guys about sugar. No. All right, guys. I wish you an amazing week. Go with encouragement, go with boldness, go with resilience, and figure out your action plan if this is something that needs to be addressed in your life. And of course, you can email me, message me if you've got me on any of the socials, or if we're connected, personally. Happy to chat and help you. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.